Coming to you from Cincinnati, Ohio, teaching about the children of Israel. Who are we? Is a dead man coming to save us from out of captivity? Has a dead man ever saved any of our people from out of captivity since the time of our first captivity from coming out of Egypt, when Moses led us out of the land of Egypt by the hand of the Most High Yah? And speaking of Moses, Moses was our first deliverer. He was the first one that the Most High stood up or raised up to deliver our people out of captivity. Again, using the hand of Moses. After Moses passed, then came Joshua, the son of Nun, came directly after Moses to lead us over the land, over the Ai and the Jordan. Yeah. And then after Joshua, then we went and the Most High started setting up our judges. And each one of our judges that the Most High raised after one will lead us out of captivity, and the children of Israel will turn against the Most High again, then the Most High will lead us back into captivity using another strong nation of people, and then that generation of Israel will get tired, and they'll start calling back to the Most High again, and then they'll do their sacrificing and cleansing themselves, and then the Most High come save them again, and he'll raise up somebody else. But never did one come out of the graveyard. No one rose or got stood up from from a burial and maggots and worms eating on their flesh, beetles crawling through their skull and all that, and nobody woke up from that type of death to gather our people and to save them out of the land of our captivity. So I'm gonna read a couple of judges, but first I want to go and show y'all how the Most High. Now you might have like, I'm gonna go to 1 Samuel, chapter 2, I believe, before we do judges. That's why I want my phone. All right. We go to 1 Samuel chapter 2. Now, King Solomon did not get his kingdom from captivity. After David fought all them wars and stuff and won, and the Most High was with David, and he prevailed at his old age, Solomon inherited the kingdom, and not only did he inherit the kingdom, he inherited peace from all the nations after David fought all those wars. So when the Most High raised Solomon up to be king, he didn't come from poverty or no type of oppression. But the rest of the kings, the Most High stood them up. You know, when the Most High stands up kings, they come from the poor, not from the graveyard. So when we read 2 Samuel, start at the 4th verse, it said, the bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry cease, so that the barren have borne 7, and she that have many children is waxed feeble. Now listen closely. It say, Yah kill and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Yah maketh poor and Yah maketh rich. He bringeth low and lift up. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lift up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are Yah's, and he has set the world upon them. See, the Most High, this is how the Most High raises up a king. He says he raises up the poor, not the dead. He maketh rich and bringeth low and lift up. He raised up the poor out of the dust, not the dead out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. What is the throne of glory? That's the kingdom, his kingdom. This is how the Most High sets up a king. They don't die and he raised them up from the graveyard. They be poor and he raised them up from poverty straight to the throne. They don't go from poverty, then they go to middle class, then they go to the heads of the earth. You go straight from poverty to royalty, straight to the throne. And when the Most High uses a man, or in the case if he uses a woman, to deliver the children of Israel out of a situation, after he uses that person to get them out of a situation, he don't reward another with their duty over Israel after he used that individual to lead them. Meaning if I led the children of Israel out of captivity, nobody else gonna come reap the rewards of the Most High using me to save these people. I save the people, but Jesus get the throne. That ain't how that go. If I save the people, then the Most High use me to rule on the throne, because I'm the one who delivered his people, and he the one who used me to deliver his people. So he's not using the person to deliver his people so that somebody else come along who didn't deliver the people and say, here, he delivered them, but this your kingdom. That ain't how that go. So, in our generation, this is the same thing that's going to happen. Just as spoken of here in the book is 1 Samuel chapter 2. We in poverty, right? Right. Do we have a king or a priest? Right. Are we rich? Right. So that means that how we gonna get our king?
Out of poverty.
He gonna come from poverty. He gonna come from the poor. Like he said, I'm gonna raise him up from the poor. Ain't nobody coming from the dead. Don't. The Most High is dealing with somebody. Well, he's gonna make us all pure once we do come from the dead, but he's not gonna deal with the dead to come save us. David Bones is buried in the city of David. David Bones are not buried in America, so the Most High is not going to raise up the David Bones and bring them to the land of the north, and then we got to fight from the land of the north to go back to Zion all over again.
His bones already there.
Right, his bones are already there. But when the Most High said, I'm going to raise up one from the land of the north, and we keep letting us know that the fight is coming, starting from the land of the north, that's letting you know the one he's going to raise up is going to come or be in the land of the north, not the grave. So we go to Judges. Well, this is just going to be a teasing. I ain't going to just read through it now. We go to Judges chapter 6. Well, I done got so used to my phone, I don't know what my net like this no more.
Gotta get back to the old way.
Well, take it back to the basics.
6.
Yep, Judge chapter 6. Now, I need y'all to bless you to find. This before Samuel ain't.
Yeah. It's out, yeah.
There you go. Right. Judges chapter 6. Now this is how we is. This is how we living right now today in America. This is gonna sound like just like America, boy. I swear. It say, y'all there? Judges chapter 6. It saying the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yah, and Yah delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years, and the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. See that? The children of Yah did evil in the sight of Yah, and Yah delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. So they did evil, and he delivered them. See, that's why he say, I'm your only savior, your only deliverer, because he is our only deliverer. If you sin against the Most High, he's going to deliver you into the hands of your enemy. If you do right for the Most High, he will deliver you out of the hands of your enemy. But wherever you choose to do, your deliverance is coming from the Creator. Now, people say, no, now the reason why people say an idol is the Savior, because they know that the Most High did use men for his salvation. But what they don't understand is that the power came from Yah when those men did lead the children of Israel out of salvation. It wasn't on their own that they led the children of Israel out of oppression. Yeah, they was a vessel. That's why he was, well, we'll see. So he delivered them into the hands of Midian 7 years. See, and when he did these 7 years, he didn't take them out in 6 years and allow their captivity to be up. When he put them there 7 years, they fulfilled. And when he put us here this 400 years, it's going to be fulfilled. He said, and the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. See, this is the power of the Most High Yah. When Israel sinned against the Most High. He delivered us into the hand of Midian. But Midian wasn't just one man. He delivered us into the people of Midian. So that means he led the people of Midian to do what they did to us too, not just Midian. The people, the whole people of Midian did what they did because the Most High led them, the whole nation, to do to Israel what he wanted them to do, as far as him delivering us into their hands. He said, and the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. And so it was, when Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them, and they encamped against them, and destroyed the increase of the earth, till thou came unto Gaza, and left no substance for Israel, neither sheep nor ox nor ass. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for the multitude. See, he controlled all these people. They came up as grasshoppers for the multitude. So he just ain't controlling one. He controlled a nation to swarm us. Oh, like, oh, y'all want to act up again? Watch this. Bing. He did the I Dream of Janie when she blinked her eyes. And then all the Midian came, swarms, as the multitude. And this is the power of Yah. He could send a swarm, and on top of that swarm, he could cause one man to be a swarm swatter, just like I used Samson. So you could be on his good side or his bad side. Either way it go, you're dealing with the Creator. You're not dealing with an idol. You don't supposed to be. Or this is the anger that'll come. You ain't going to deal with one man or two. You're going to deal with a multitude. Israel going to deal with a multitude. Verse 3, and it was so when Israel had sown that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. And they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth, till thou came unto Gaza, and left no sustenance for Israel, neither sheep nor ox nor ass, for they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for the multitude. For both they and their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy it. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto Yah. And it came to pass, when the children of Israel cried unto Yah because of the Midianites, that Yah sent a prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, Thus said Yah, power of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt, and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. And I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drave them out from before you, and gave you their land. And I said unto you, I am Yah, your power. Fear not the God of the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. And there came an angel of Yah, and sat under the oak which was in Ophrah, and pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon. And his son Gideon threshed wheat by the wine press to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of Yah appeared unto him and said unto him, Yah is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if Yah be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all the miracles which our father told us of, saying, did not Yah bring us up from Egypt? But now Yah has forsaken us and delivered us into the hand of the Midianites. This is what our people feel like too. Like, why?
Why is this
If this happened, where is this God that y'all talking about saved us from Egypt? Why is he allowing all this to happen to us? What do we do to deserve this? See, they don't know that it ain't got nothing to do with us as far as deserving this.
Just the captivity. But
Yeah. It got everything to do with us, but as far as whose fault it is, it has nothing to do with us. But the Most High made sure that it wasn't our fault that we came here, because he was gonna make sure that we was the blessing coming up out of here, meaning that he was gonna use us and our generation to lead us up out of captivity and lead the world into peace, where not even the animals will be at war with each other. That's how you'll know who the real king will be. The real king come and raise, stand up. Even the animals gonna be at peace with each other. Lions gonna be eating hay. Bears gonna be eating hay. Wolves gonna be eating hay. They all gonna be eating hay with the lamb.
Yeah, lying with the lambs. Like, what you would see in nature, opposite is gonna be.
Right. You have to see in captivity now what's going on. You have to be something man-made to create that situation.
Right.
You feel me? For as a lion with a lamb.
Right.
They have to grow up.
Grow up to get tame.
Yeah, there's a cub and you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But it just normally wouldn't be natural.
Right. But this is gonna be natural. When our Messiah get raised up from captivity, these are major signs that the false king is not prophesied or mentioned doing. He's not going. No animals are going to be at peace, or you know what I'm saying. No animals are at peace at this moment, and they said he already came. You see, or Selassie, he was here. Now, one thing I said about Selassie, at least we do know he was real.
And he tell that he bowed down to the same God.
But Selassie had a God. So that's why I can't mess with Selassie. And Jesus got a God. That's why he said, my God and your God, like that little Arab dude said. Because he got a daddy. But he's saying, why have you called me good? There is none good but thy Father which is in heaven. So he letting you know that the Father didn't transform into me and become flesh. See, or it didn't transform into him and become flesh, not me.
Because he acknowledged the Father.
But he acknowledged that there is one above him and that it's good and that it's not him because he ain't shit. But he said there's only one good and my name don't go on that. I'm down here with you, but it's the one that's in heaven. Verse 9. Verse 8 again. It said that Yah sent the prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, thus said Yah, power of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt and brought you forth out of the house of bondage, and I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drave them out from before you, and gave you their land. And I said unto you, I am Yah, your power. Fear not the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Hey, do me a favor, y'all. When I stop and start talking to somebody, let me know where we ended up at, so I won't be going through the whole 5 verses all over again.
Okay. Marker. Then all you have to do is say where I leave off at.
verse 12. What, that's verse 12?
That was 10.
Verse 10. And Yah said unto you, I am Yah your power, fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. See, we should not fear, that's 10, we should not fear the gods of the Americanites. Feel me? Not Jesus, not Jesus, not no sun god, no moon god, no Allah, no evil, wicked, funky Allah, no deities at all, no gods. Because you're not really worshiping their gods, you're really worshiping their king as a god. Because he's magnifying himself as a god and all his or her riches. That's what they do. When they don't, we got to understand the Most High said, only Israel have he known out of all the families of the earth. So when these other kings get their power, these people get their power, they're like, well, it must be that I'm a god, because ain't nobody else did this for me, because he ain't coming letting them know that I'm going to make you a king. You see?
So they think they got that self-power.
So they think they got, they think they doing this on their own. They think they're gods. Because y'all ain't letting them know I'm giving you this power, and your power coming from me. They don't know where it's been obtained from. So to them, they manifesting themselves. So when you pray to all these, again, when you pray to them, you're really praying to the king of the earth. Because the king of the earth got all the religions acknowledging him. You see?
But the people don't know that though, so it would be the idol.
Nope, don't nobody know. But that's what the Most High is talking to in Isaiah 14 when he speaks to Lucifer, the king of the earth. He said it's the man that weakened the nation, caused the earth to tremble. But verse 11, where we at? Verse 11. And there came an angel of Yah and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, and pertained to Joash the Abiezrite. And his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of Yah appeared unto him and said unto him, Yah is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if Yah be with us, why then is thou this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not Yah bring us up from Egypt? But now Yah has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And Yah looked upon him and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am least in my father's house. So 1 Samuel chapter 2 just back this up when the Most High said, I raise them up from the dust of the earth to sit with princes and make them to inherit the throne of glory. That's what just happened to Gideon. He said, I am the least in Manasseh and the poorest in my family's house. Verse 15, and he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh. See, they impoverished. And I am the least in my father's house. I'm the brokest. And Yah said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. And he said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest with me. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee, and bring forth my present, and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until thou come again. But see, this is the Most High ain't raising no man from no dead to deliver us. This is what's going to happen in America. You're going to be like, behold, I'm the poor in my father, and I'm the poorest in Judah. I'm the least of my father's house, even though I'm the only one in my father's house. I'm my other son. The only man, my sister, you know. That's how it's going to be. Somebody's going to be raised here from poor, and we know that, and we know the condition of the Levites, if they are truly the Haitians or whatever. We know how messed up they is, but the Most High still coming to get one out of the tribe of Levi. Yahshua, who the people think is Jesus, or the character, the cartoon character of the New Testament, Jesus. Who they try to change his name to Yahshua, but Jesus don't fit the criteria of Yahshua because he only has a mother, and she's the only one mentioned. But Yahshua has a dad, a father. He comes from a seed. He comes from the loins of man. He was released up into a woman, and she gave birth to him. But ain't no dead man coming for us. It's over for that. Read Jeremiah chapter 30, and this is one of the reasons why they think it's David. I like to kind of beat up on scriptures that they use to try to prove it's David too. Just in case they be like, oh, if I was able to talk to him, I'll go to Ezekiel chapter 30 and 8 on him and ask him what he think about that. Yeah. Jeremiah 30. Yeah. Thank you, baby. Praise my Smoke, God.
I keep reconnecting every couple minutes.
Jeremiah 30 and 8. This what make so. This is why they think it's David. Y'all there?
Mm-hmm. I keep forgetting to say something.
Huh?
I keep forgetting to say something that I'm here.
Jeremiah 30 and 8. This is why they think a dead man gonna save us. Now start at verse 7. It say, alas, for the day is great, so that there is none like it. So remember this how he talking, right? If it's hard to count, it's kind of hard to see, but when you know it, then it's kind of easy to see. But, and what I'm talking about is, this is the time of trouble right here that the Most High is speaking of. And David's name is being mentioned for a purpose right here, and it's not because it's him specifically. That's why his name is being mentioned. That is totally not the reason that his name is being mentioned, because it's David himself. Because like I said, the prophecy says that one will come from the land of the north. We know David's bones was not carried away to America with us. Like when our people left out of Egypt, they carried Joseph or Joseph's bones with them. That didn't happen with David. We left his bones there. Joseph's bones traveled with them. David bones stay right where they at. So they not finna come afloating to America. That's not gonna happen. But right here it say, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yah, their power, and David, their king, whom I will raise unto them. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yah, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So by reading this here, it looked like it's David, right? Because it said, because his name is being mentioned. But is something going on with that? Y'all said I raise them up from the poor and not the dead, right?
Person raising up got some connection. Maybe that's a connection.
Exactly. The person he
like
got,
a house.
God has a connection. I'm going to show you the connection real quick. Turn to, well, before I show you the connection. No. I'll show you the connection, but keep your fingers, keep right here at Jeremiah 30.
30 and 10.
Yeah, 30 and 10. But turn to 2 Samuel chapter 7. Look at verse 7. We're going to start at verse 7. Y'all there?
2 Samuel chapter
7.
7.
verse 7.
Yes, sir. 7. 7. It say, and in all the places where I have walked with all the children of Israel, spake I a word with any of the tribes of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, why build ye not me a house of cedar? Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, thus saith Yah of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whatsoever thou went, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. You see that? So when he said, I made you a great name, like the men that are in, like the great names of the men that are in the earth. So, was Abraham a great man?
And he's mentioned, and we know we the descendants of Abraham.
Was Isaac a great man?
Yeah.
Was Jacob a great man?
Yeah. Started our nation.
No, he ain't started. Abraham started it, but yeah, I feel what you're saying. He was the start of the tribes. Right. He's the father of the tribes. It came directly from his loins. Right. And I just forgot what I was saying.
About the
Verse 8.
Nah, he don't have to do this shit.
about the house.
Oh yeah. Far as them having a great name, my bad. Praise I had a brain fart. Yeah, but that's the reason why when we say we the children of Israel, we're talking about we're the children of one man. But when y'all say I'm gonna save Israel, I'm gonna save Israel, I'm gonna gather Israel from the land of the north. Is he talking about Israel, Isaac's son, or is he talking about Israel, the descendants of Israel, the seed?
The multiple. Is Israel as a person and as a nation?
Right, but when you talk about Israel as a nation, they're called Israel as a nation because Israel as a person has a great name. That's why his name is still being mentioned concerning us. And that's the same reason why David's name is being mentioned concerning his seed. See, Yaakov has a house, and that's why we are the house of Yaakov. And when the Most High says, I'm going to gather Yaakov, he's talking about the children. David is a single individual man who has a house. And when he's talking about, I'm going to wake up David, he's talking about waking up David's house. Just like how he's talking about doing the same thing with Yaakov or Israel. Verse 8, now therefore say unto my servant David, thus said God of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whatsoever thou went, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel. This is not talking about the man Israel. This is, he said, my people, not my son Israel, my people, which is his son as a nation, but not his son for as Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, not that. And will plant them, and they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more, as before time. And as since the time that I commanded judges to be ruler over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies also, Yah tell thee that he will make thee an house. See, David has a house. Now, Yah can use David's name and talk about and be talking about his children, just like how he could use Israel's name and be talking about his children. Once he has his house set and established, then that house becomes his, and all the seeds are his. So David's name can be mentioned concerning all the seeds, because it is David. So when he raised up David, he's still raising up David, but it's not from the worm-infested underworld. It's from the worm-infested overworld, meaning captivity, nasty-ass America, polluted-ass America. That's where we at. You see? That's why his name is being mentioned. The name ain't being mentioned because it's him that's going to come way from Jerusalem. Even though the Most High he could wake him up and do him like how he do the angels. Here go you a horse. Go on over there. You know, there ain't nobody gonna see you. That's what the angels do. We don't ever see them coming back and forth, but we know they do. We just don't see it. They got colors. Them horses got colors and everything. Red, speckled, and white. Some of them. That's not all of them.
But with that reference with the 4 horses, I thought that was a
Chariot,
reference
right?
of people, like
Chariots, yeah.
I thought that was going to be like referring to like a set of people, like they go the speckled horse.
Nah, those real horses. Those are the angels riding in on those colored horses. Yeah. Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, or after you, which shall proceed out of your bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son. See, the Most High is making David's seed his son.
That would be a extension of David. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good proven point right there.
If he commit iniquity,
Chastise.
I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Hold up. He said, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before you. See, he said his mercy, if he commit iniquity, sin, he say, I'm going to chasten him with the rod of men. He's not finna go unpunished. And that's going to be his judgment. So can't nobody say, this king, he just spoiled you, he let him get away with anything, he committed iniquity and no punishment ain't coming behind it now. He said he going to commit iniquity. I'm going to punish him with the rod of men. I'm not going to spare the rod. I'm going to punish him with the rod of men. Nevertheless, though, my mercy shall not depart from him. He said, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before you. So, now King Solomon, people think this King Solomon. But it's a difference here. Just like you have some captivities of this 400-year captivity that we in today, and it's some comparisons of the 300-something year captivity that from Egypt. That's why people don't know the difference, because they see a lot of comparisons, but there's some separations that separate this captivity from the captivity of Egypt. And what verse was I on, 15?
17.
Okay. But Solomon, he got his throne taken away. His throne didn't last forever. And that's a difference between Solomon and who this prophecy is about. Solomon got it taken away like Saul did. It didn't happen exactly that way, but it did get taken away nonetheless. It got taken away. Solomon is not our king right now today, because if it was meant for Solomon, once that house was built, from that time all the way up until today, we'll be in the land, that temple will be still up, and all the world will be at peace with Israel. But it ain't the case. So we know that wasn't Solomon that they was talking about. Because he had sons come after him that got the throne, took him from them as well. Most High said this throne will not be taken away from this man like it was took away from Saul. So you could count that. You could put that in the bank. That's a done deal. This man, and this letting you know that he will commit iniquity, because y'all ain't just saying if he commit iniquity, I'm charging him with the rods of man. So he letting you know, even our deliverer that the Most High gonna use to deliver us, he is gonna be the seed of David, and he is gonna be full of iniquity. Just like the priest that we read about gonna be full of iniquity. So again, like I always say, all of Israel gonna make it, from the greatest of us to the least of us. We locked in. This captivity is the way that the Most High locked all of Israel into that land, because we are already being judged. So when he come, we don't have to get judged. He said, you can't go in there, because he already judging us, saying you can't go in there. That's why he in there. We ain't in there right now. He said, no, you can't go in there. Go on out there with them heathens. That's your home right now until your time up. You see? Until it's time up, that's why they got us thinking we heathens. Because we acting like heathens. Now they can tell us we heathens, and now they can tell us that they are us. Y'all heathens, I'm Judah. We got a Talmud, and we study Judaism. We studying y'all life, and we giving y'all our life. Feel me? We like reversible colors. Flip. Now it's time for you to flip and become us, and we gonna become you. And that's why the head became the tail, and the tail became the head. Until it's time for us to become the head again. But ain't no dead man coming to save us up out of no captivity. Verse 16, and thy house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before you. Your throne shall be established forever. According to all these words, and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. Then went King David in and sat before Yah, and he said, who am I, O Yah? And what is my house that thou hast brought me here to? And this was yet a small thing in thy sight, O Yah. But thou hast spoken also of thy servant's house for a great while to come. And this is the manner of man, O Yah. And what can David say more unto thee that thou, Yah, know of thy servant? For thy word's sake, and according to all thy heart hast thou done all these great things to make thy servant know them. Wherefore thou art great, O Yah, for there is none like thee, neither is there any God beside thee, according to all that we have heard with our ears. That is the covenant given to David by the Most High, sent through Nathan the prophet. The covenant given to David is not that David will be king. The covenant given to David is that David shall be king. And people always want to say, well, you see that if, look at Psalms chapter I think that's 139. Let me see something. 32.
Should be in the bathroom behind or on the side.
What?
The TP.
Hey y'all know what we on, right? Oh, ain't nothing up on. Yeah, Psalms 132. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put down that phone and get back into this book. That using the Bible on your phone is cool. But I'd rather use my book again. We're gonna see what Yah has sworn to David. Psalms 132. He asking Yah to read. Y'all there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said, Yah, remember David and all his afflictions, how he swore unto Yah, thou the mighty creator of Yaakov. Surely I will not come into the tabernacle of my house, nor go into my bed. I will not give sleep to my eyes, or slumber to my eyelids, until I found out a place for Yah, and habitation for the mighty power of Yaakov. Lo, we heard in Euphratah, we found in the fields of wood. We will go into his tabernacles. We will worship at his foot. Arise, O Yah, into thy rest, thou in the ark of thy strength. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy. For thy servant David's sake, turn not away thy face of thine anointed. Yah has sworn truth unto David. He will not turn of the fruit of thy body, but upon thy throne. Is he going to turn from this?
Yes,
Mine got it written juicy too. Right where you was just at too.
What is that?
We heard it was in Ephraim. We came upon it in the region of Jah. Let us enter his abode, bow at his footstool, advance, O Yah, to your resting place. You and your mighty ark, your priests are clothed in triumph, your loyal ones sing for joy, for the sake of your servant David. Do not reject your anointed one. Yah swore to David a firm oath that he will not renounce. One of your own issue I will set upon your throne. If your sons keep my covenant and my decrees that I teach them, then their sons also to the end of time shall sit upon your throne. For Yah has chosen Zion.
Praise God. So, he said, Yah has sworn unto the truth unto David, he will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne. This is where they believe it's David because they see this if. But in 2 Samuel chapter 2, he say that if again. And that's what's going to happen after that. You got to know that he is going to commit iniquity. But when he do, y'all going to chasten him with the rod of man. Nevertheless, his mercy ain't going to depart from him. Like he took it from Saul. So he's not going to take it from the seed of David and give it to Saul. Because he already promised him that it's going to be his throne forever. Sitting upon the throne of David. So when he talk about raising up David, I know that he's talking about the seed because we go to Jeremiah 20. Yeah.
I went right through it.
Praise the mighty God.
Praise. Yeah.
And, hey, if you cough, you get scared. If you cough again, then reverse. Cough again, then skip.
That was 139. What verses y'all read?
132, Psalms 132, 1 through.
Psalms 132.
1
Yeah, like 1 through 9.
No, 1 through 12.
1 through 12.
Yeah. Where we at now?
Jeremiah 23. Started, y'all there?
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. 23.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here now.
Well, I'm going to read 1 through 5. It say, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said Yah. Therefore, thus said Yah of hosts, Israel against the pastors that feed my people, scattered my flock, and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said Yah. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them. And I will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. And they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, said Yah. Behold, the days come, said Yah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. See, so when you read Jeremiah 30, look at Jeremiah 30. Verse 7. Keep your hand here. There you go. Keep your hand on that. Well, now go straight to verse 9. There,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he say, but they shall serve Yah their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. You see, he's raising David us into us, right? So when you go to that 23, verse 5, it's telling you how he's going to raise David. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will raise David a righteous branch. See, this is how he raising David. He raising him a righteous branch. He's not raising David to be himself. David, when he raised David, this is going to be his righteous branch that's going to be the king. He said, and a king shall reign and prosper and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called, the King, our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yah, that they shall no more say, Yah live, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yah live, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country. See he coming from the north country. And from all countries whether I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. See, David Bones is in the city of David. And the reason I know that, because when you read Jeremiah, all his sons gonna die, and they're gonna be buried right with their fathers. The kings that die. When the Most High take the throne from the kings, he buried them right with David. They all with David. Now look at this real quick. Go back to verse 1.
30.
No, 23. No. Yeah, 30 be cool. 30, not verse 1 on 30. Verse 7 on chapter 30. It say, alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So this is a day that there is none like before. A day none like it. Look at Micah chapter 7. Give me a hoop when you're there. I'm sorry, chapter 5. Y'all there?
Yeah.
So when he raised up David, it's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, a time of never was before. Right? Y'all there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
Y'all ready? It's right after Amos. It's right after Amos, and then it's Jonah, and then Micah. Chapter 5. Chapter 5, we have started verse 12. He said, and I will cut off witchcrafts out of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hand. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. See, when he said it's going to be a time of trouble such as not heard, and it shall be a time of Jacob's trouble, but they shall be saved out of it. See, this is going to happen, that time of troubles, that's on the heathen such as never was heard. That's not us, and the Most High going to raise up David to cause this affliction. That's on these nations. That's why he's the Prince of Peace. Because what the Most High is going to use him to do to these nations, the world going to witness this, and it's going to cause peace amongst man. But this man is not going to cause the animals to be at peace with each other. Now, mind you that. It's just when he becomes, that's going to be a sign that this is the right one. But he's not going to be the one who caused the animals, the lions and the bears to eat hay. That's all the glory and the strength of the Most High. He controls. Yeah, that's when the world is at peace. Yeah, we're gonna be in the land. And the other time when we out of the land and we in somebody else's land, the world is a chaos. Yeah, it's chaos. So the reason why I went here because it said the Most High gonna raise David at this time, and we know it's talking about the seed. And you know I like to go to this. I love going to this one. So we gonna go to Daniel. Chapter 12. See, this is who the Most High going to stand up in the time of Yaakov's trouble. He said it's going to be a time such as never was before. The name is here. And to go with the signs of David's seed that the Most High said will do this in this time, It's the only name is mentioned that the Most High said would deliver our people. People will keep going to David, but they don't have no explanation why Michael's saying he's going to be our deliverer, or why the Most High saying Michael is the deliverer. But it said, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. So we're talking to Daniel. That's why he's saying of thy people, that he knows of your people. And he's standing for your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be what? Delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. See, this is our deliverer. This don't say when David rise, then shall our people be delivered. Although this is David, because this seed here belongs to David. So this is still David. It just don't say his name, because now this is not metaphorically speaking of David anymore. This is literally speaking of the seed of David. So again, if we turn back to Jeremiah chapter 23. Jeremiah 23. Verse 5. Again, behold, the days come, said Yah, that I will raise. See, raise and stand means the same thing. See, I'm sitting down. I could call it stand, or I could say I'm sitting down, I'm about to raise up. It's the same thing.
And we say that too when we about to fight. Don't make me raise up.
Yeah, don't make me stand up, or don't make me raise up in this one, don't make me stand up in this one. It's the same thing. So this is not a raise from a graveyard raise. This is a standing from poverty. He said, I will raise unto David a righteous branch. See, this covenant the Most High is not breaking. He ain't breaking it. A king shall reign and prosper and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And at that time, Michael stand, the great prince. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth going to wake, some everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting content when this man stand. That's bringing judgment in the earth. But what?
I was gonna say, if that's the case, if some gonna be raised into contempt, how is all of Israel gonna be making it?
Because he ain't talking about Israel. He talking about the people that's raising up the judgment, period. Everybody. He said Michael was raising up for the children of Daniel's people, which is the Israelites. And if he's standing up for the children of Israel, that means he's with them. That don't mean that that some of them are going to burn as well. They're coming up together now. You can't burn. When the Most High said we're going to do for 400 years, and if he come after 400 years, and then he curses some more, then that means the Most High lied to us. That means the Most High is saying, okay, I'm going to curse you, you ain't going to serve me. But then when I come, since I took everything from you, allowed these people to destroy you, food is so prosperous that belongs to us, we're not in it, because if we was, then the world ain't prosperous by Israel, because the prophecy is that we will sustain the earth with plenty of corn. Prophecy that he will sustain the earth with the fatness of the earth, but by the sword shall he live. So we sustain the earth with life, and they say death. We already portion under the captivity. So when y'all come, our time is up, and that's why the scripture said in Micah, I will execute justice, fury upon the heathen such as the earth, not upon heathen and Israel. Israel not who gonna be the now look at turn to two scriptures. Ezekiel chapter 37 and Zechariah chapter 14.
What was the first
Chapter 37. Did my phone ain't charging? Yeah. Well, it went back out again. Now push it back in there again.
one? So,
Yeah, push the cord in and push the phone towards the cord, push the cord towards the phone. There you go. Ezekiel 37, Zechariah chapter 14. Daniel said, many of them sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting content. And he said, how it ain't going to be Israel then if it's saying this, right? So let's go to Ezekiel 37.
And I was saying as far as they talking about some going to raise to everlasting
I know.
contempt, is it talking about Israel?
I know. I just said. You saying some of it, if right. So that means some of Israel gonna wake up to be punished. And I'm saying that's not the case. I'm saying Ezekiel, we're going through our judgment and our punishment right now. He just said, I'm gonna chastise him with the rod of men. That didn't just go for that one individual. That's what's happening to all of Israel. We're all being chastised with the rod of men. That's why we in this land. That's why the Most High chastising Israel with the Midianites. When they did evil to the Most High, and they sinned against him, he delivered them into the hand of the Midianites. He chastised them with the rod of men. When they did right, then he chastised the Midianites with the rod of men, which was Israel. Ezekiel 37. Say, the hand of Yah was on me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yah, and set me in the spirit of and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, they were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Yah, Creator, you know. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yah. Thus said Yah of hosts, thus said Yah the power unto these bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring upon flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you. And ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yah. Hold on. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith Yah, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith Yah, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yah when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. And ye shall be my people, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, Yah, have spoken it and performed it, said Yah. The word of Yah came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Yehudah and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick and write it upon it for yourself, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions. See, so the Most High said, y'all coming about them graves. And then now he lets you know he was talking about a graveyard when he talked about raising them up out of their graves. He wasn't talking about out of a deep sleep. He was talking about out of a graveyard. See, it's different when he's talking about the sleep, like a spiritual sleep, spiritually dead, or a physical graveyard. But he's going to bring us out from a physical grave and from a deep sleep. So this is the half of the prophecy that was given to Daniel. When he say some of them that wake up from the dust gonna wake, some of the everlasting life, and some of the shame and everlasting contempt. Y'all said you gonna come about your graves and ye shall live. That's what he said to them. Now we go to Zechariah 14 and 12. Y'all there?
Yeah.
All right, well, he be reading when I be saying go to somewhere else. You say y'all there?
Yes.
Okay, you say, oh, verse 12. It say, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. See, he said this is the plague wherewith he shall smite all that fought against Jerusalem. See, this is the one that's alive that fought against Jerusalem, and this is the one that's in their graves that fought against Jerusalem. Shame and everlasting contempt for them. Remember, Yah told Abraham that them that they gonna judge you for 400 years, and then them that judge you without judge, and afterwards you gonna come out with great substance. So we got these prophets don't be remembered all the time. When you remember a prophecy, you got to remember that Yah said we're going to be judged by these people. Afterwards, we coming out with great substance when He judged them, not judge us 2 times and judge them 1 time. He ain't judged. He judged our ancestors already. They already paid the cost for their crime. That's why they dead. We're still dying because of that, but we're going to be blessed because we're serving the Most High. We haven't been taught by nobody to serve the Most High. The Most High just chose us to do this. It's the difference between them and us. And we're being punished for nothing. We didn't say I do to the Most High. Our ancestors said I do. Our ancestors told Moses, all that you said we will do. And they broke it. We haven't had a confrontation with the Most High, good or bad personally. They did. This is the difference between them and us. You can't compare them to us. Only comparison is that we're Israel, but them in comparison to us is no comparison because we're born into this hell. They brought us into this hell. There's a difference. They led us into this hell. We were born into this hell. So the Most High looks differently at us than He looks at them. But that's what He said gonna happen in them. And He said, and this shall, verse 12 again, this shall be the plague wherewith Yah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yah shall be among them. See, that's among them for all that fought against Jerusalem. And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and the hand of his and the hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Yehudah also shall fight at Jerusalem. And all the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold, silver, and apparel in great abundance. See, now when we come, this is us getting our great substance. Coming out of captivity, getting our great substance, like the Most High promised Abraham we would. When their 400 years is up, that nation that they judge, well, I judge. Afterward, they going to come out with great substance. They got their judgment. They burn. Their eyes, they flesh consumed away off of their bones. Their eyes consumed away in their holes. And their tongue consumed away in their mouth. That's their judgment. Then after that, we fighting at Jerusalem, and all the wealth of all the nations are going to be gathered together round about in gold, silver, and apparel and great substance. So the Most High is not a liar. People teach his word wrong, but y'all don't tell his word wrong. But at the same time, he causes them to fumble, and he causes us to fumble. You see, for no one can know the beginning from the end. That's just how it's supposed to be. Until his word is fulfilled. You see, he chose us at a perfect time to come up out of this place. And that time he has already told us that none of us would know that day. So it's just up to us to wait for that day. But one thing for certain, two things for sure. Ain't no dead man coming to save us. Look at Jeremiah chapter 33. Then we'll just end this here. And I could have went to show where they think that they saying David's name again, but I already said, once I say why they saying David's name in one chapter, like 30 and 8 in Jeremiah, when you read his names in the other one, you could say the same thing for that too. So that's why I ain't really go through the other scriptures where David's name being said too, like Ezekiel 37, he shall be the prince, the shepherd, the king, and they saying that David shall, so. The same thing applies to that scripture. His name is being mentioned because he's the head of that house. But he's not the Prince of Peace. If the Most High say when the time of Israel or Jacob's trouble, Michael gonna stand to deliver the people. You feel me? That's the deliverer. That's the Prince of Peace. Because if you delivering us from, only thing you can't deliver us from peace. You feel me? You delivering us from. You could deliver us into the hands of a people because we ain't doing right. So you could deliver us into the hands of a people to take away our peace. But you can't deliver us into the hands of a people for peace.
To give us peace.
Right. He delivers us out of the hands of the people to give us peace. So when Michael stands up to deliver us in that time of trouble, it's going to be out of our enemy's hand. And once he delivers us out of their hands, so for him to deliver us, we have to be in trouble for him to deliver us out of their hands. Trouble means no peace. Once he brings us out of their hands, then that means we're in no more trouble. So that means we're in a position of peace. So it can't be David bringing peace himself, the dead man, or a dead father. It can't be him because he's not allowed to play that position or to fulfill that position. So the deliverer will bring peace. They gonna cheer when Michael deliver us. Right, but right now they don't know who it is. But I'm not listening to nobody, like I said, unless it's Michael. I'm gonna listen closely and attentively. I'm gonna see what he know. If it's him, it's cool. I don't think I get to fight, but I hope it ain't him.
So that's bad words.
I get to fight with him. If it ain't me, then just let me fight with him. Don't let me die. Feel me? Make me a sharp threshing tool too. But Jeremiah chapter 33:17. See, this is y'all don't break his promise. People that don't understand, I guess. I hate really talking like that because I don't like to sound like I know everything, because I don't. But what I do understand, I can say it that they don't understand. Because if I don't understand, somebody telling me something, I can say that I don't understand it. So if I can see somebody else don't understand it, I can say, shit, you don't understand. Feel me? 33:17, you there? Jeremiah 33:17.
Here now.
There.
Yeah.
Jeremiah on the 33 degree. Said, for thus said Yah, now go to verse 16. No, go to verse 15. Verse 15. Start at verse 15. Excuse me. It said, in those days and at that time will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. See, this is not David. He said it's going to grow up unto David. And this branch, he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land, not David. In those days when this man stand up, shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called. They're disrespectful. I think they did this on purpose. I said she shall be called. In those days shall Yehudah be saved, and Jerusalem shall be saved. And then this the name wherewith he shall be called, Yah or righteousness. For thus said Yah, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel. Neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings, and to kindle meat offerings, and to do sacrifice continually. And the word of Yah came to Jeremiah, saying, thus said Yah, if ye can break my covenant of day and my covenant of night, that there shall not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he shall not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered. See, it's a whole, them ain't no motherfucking aliens. Babylon call them aliens, but if a Mexican come to America from Mexico, that's what they call illegal alien. That just means foreigner. That's it. Alien just means foreigner. See, a lot of these aliens that they talking about, they making up in them labs and them fetuses and shit we was talking about. And they talking about, oh, we done captured something. Now you ain't captured shit. You just made that motherfucker up. And you talking about you captured something, but it's GMO, genetically modified organism, plant, animal, human, DNA stem cell. That's what they do. That's what these creeps do. But David and the Levites, he ain't leave the Levites out. So while people keep talking about we don't need the Levites, he is not leaving the Levites out. Levites, the priests, my ministers. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered, neither the sand of the sea measured, so will I multiply the seed of David my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me. Moreover, the word of God came to Jeremiah, saying, Considerest thou not what this people have spoken, saying, 2 families which Yah hath chosen, he hath even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. Thus said Yah, my covenant be not with day and night. And if I have not appointed the ordinance of heaven and earth, then I will cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy. See, this is all going to the seed. How you gonna do something to hurt the seed when we already being hurt and we don't know why we being hurt? See, that's what we being taught. Y'all told us to turn back, but how the fuck we gonna turn back to somebody we don't know? He way up in heaven, and we down here on earth. And when he used to come to them, he used to come in a pillar of a cloud, or a day, or a chariot of fire by night, and present and make himself known to them. When we ever see some shit like that? We ain't never seen nobody come lay over no man dead and say, y'all, keep him alive right now for me. And then they come back seeing this little boy dead, and he come back and this angel done brought him there. He alive here. Take him with you. We ain't seen that shit. The man get his whole arm grow back. Like the old Dragon Ball Z mother. What the fuck? We ain't never seen that, bro. We got to go to the doctor and get some bionic man shit. You feel me? You remember Bionic Man when we was young? And Bionic Girl? Yeah, they got to do that, yeah.
I thought Return to Y'all was like more spiritual since we didn't know.
That's the same. We wasn't there. How can we return what we wasn't?
Right. How can we return what we don't know?
It's my based off this time, us being in captivity, not during it. Obviously, everything was in the open and everybody could see, but I'm talking about during this time.
During this time, what?
Returning to the Most High.
How can you return if you don't know him?
That's what it's telling us, return.
Right. It's telling us, the people that know. How can you return if you don't know where you're going? To return means you know where you're going. So if he's telling us to return, but we don't know where we're going, then that means he's not talking to those ones, because it's ones that he got under asleep that they don't know who they are. So if he's telling the children, you children of Israel, return to me and I will return to you, and our people thinking that we're African Americans, they're not going to know that he's talking to them saying return to me, because he's saying you children of Israel return to me. Right? So to talk to us, he's going to say, you children, you African American children returning to me. Then they will know that the Most High talking to them. You say, you African American children returning to me. But they don't know they Israelites. So if he's saying, you children of Israel return to me, I return to you. But they don't know they Israel, how would they return unto him? That was the whole plot of the plan.
I'm changing the name.
To change the name, the language, and everything, so that we don't know how to call upon Yah. Return means if I leave out this house and I come back, that means I knew where I was coming to. That's the only way I could return. Now, if you blindfold me, if I'm in this spot, you blindfold me, drop me off in California somewhere and take that blindfold off and say, return it to me. How the hell I'm going to know where we're returning to? If you done dropped me off in California and left me there and you done went on about your business, you in the heavens of the heaven now, you ain't tell me where you was going. And you say, now return it to me after you took the blindfold off. How am I know where I'm going?
That's why I said spiritually, as far as knowing that
Talking
he's
about
the
like
only one, not idol
serving.
worship.
Yeah, she's talking
That's
about
what
like
I'm talking
on the
about.
surface.
They don't know that he is the creator. That's why he had to return unto us a pure language, so that we all can call upon him with one consent. If you don't know, if you don't have, if you until you receive this language, you can't all call upon him with 1% consent. First of all, we don't have the language, so that in itself letting you know that ain't none of us calling on the name of Yah. The first commandment that you, the worst commandment that you could break, any law after that is a domino effect from the first commandment, which is idolatry. And if the Most High say he gonna return upon our language so we can call upon him with one consent, that let you know ain't none of us calling on his name. So you committing idolatry, I'm committing idolatry, we all committing idolatry. Because ain't none of us calling upon his name with one consent. So if you committing idolatry and I'm committing idolatry, that means we in the same boat as our people. So just because they saying Jesus ain't no different than us saying Yahweh. Because Yahweh ain't his name. That is not his name. Yahweh, praise Yahweh. Yahweh ain't his name. That's not a Hebrew tongue. That's an American tongue. Yeah, a double, like I told you, a double two. You put one U, which is a round bottom, next to a V, one V, which is a pointy bottom. One round at the bottom, one pointed at the bottom. You can't, and they two totally different letters. That's why they call it a U and a V. You can't attach another V to a V, and all of a sudden it becomes two U's. You have to put two U's. You have one U, and when you put another U with that, you have a double U. If you have one V and you attach another V to that, then you have a double V. Right. So they telling us two V's equal two U sounds. So they saying it's Yahweh. That's not his name. You polluting his name. Or we polluting that name saying that. And then when we say Yahweh, Yahweh.
I was gonna say, is there any difference from saying Yahweh, because that's still defiling his name. That's not his name neither.
Right.
No different from his being Yahweh. So.
Right. So we all committing idolatry. So if that's the case, why would he come and get our people in the church for saying Jesus, and that's not his name, but he won't get us for saying Yahweh, Yahweh, and all that, and that's not his name. So he has to purify us so that we can call upon his name with one consent, as Israel, his firstborn, as he had Moses tell Pharaoh, release my boy, my firstborn, or I'm going to destroy yours, even your firstborn. You see? So we are already being condemned. Y'all's not coming for a double condemning. He said, I'm going to judge Israel with the rod of men. After their time is up, the people who I judge Israel with, I'm a judge. That really ain't all that hard to cope with, unless we just want our people fucked up because we think we doing something better than them, and we want to see them punished with the heathen, even though the heathen are already punishing us and destroying us. When you go to jail, why do you think the Most High saying, free my prisoners from the jailhouses and those of them that sit in darkness? Yeah, because we already served our time. Now free them. They did their judgment. You went to court. They said, give him 25 to life. And when they got in there, he did 25, but whatever he got, the Most High said, okay, well, they served their time. So you think he gonna come get us out of jail after doing 25 years and say, okay, it's time for me to come get the earth straight. Oh, why you do that to that little boy 25 years ago? I'm gonna get you again, even though I'm getting you out of this jail for 25 years of punishment and harsh cruelty and everything nasty and defiled that go on up under them walls of the penitentiary, and take them up out of that hell and bring him straight directly into another hell. When do we get a blessing?
No, it was just a question.
Right, I'm just saying, when will we ever get a blessing? When do our blessing ever come? If when we're born out of the legs of a woman in captivity, oppressed all the way in time to the Most High come, and then when the Most High come, He furthers the affliction to us and causes us to burn with our oppressors, even after oppressors already oppressed us. We get oppressed with them when the Most High come too. When is our freedom? When do we get joy? When do we ever get to smile or be the head of the earth and not the last? When do we get to eat good food and drink clean water?
Only when the Most High come back.
Right. So don't think that our people gonna get extra punished when the Most High come. We are already going through a punishment. We are already being judged already. The worst thing you could do is commit idolatry. The first thing that the Most High said He's going to cleanse us from is idolatry. That's the first thing He said. Look at Exodus chapter 20. These my last two were real dark. We can get it now. But I want to show you this real quick. Exodus chapter 20, then go back to Ezekiel 36.
36? Or you going to 36?
Ezekiel 36 and Exodus chapter 20. You there? Saying, Yah spake all these words, saying, I am Yah, thy creator, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of them that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yah, thy creator, am a jealous creator, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right? So this is why we went into captivity, because we sinned against the Most High. After He gave us these laws right here, He commanded us to keep these 10 laws, these laws. And we broke them. So He sent us into captivity. For breaking them. Now when He brings us up out of captivity, the first thing that He's going to cleanse us from is the very first thing that He told us not to break, that got sent us here, that got us sent here to this place.
By destroying the idols, the belief of them, and the vision of them. No more idols. If we don't got no more idols, that's killing that first curse.
Exactly. And once you destroy that first curse, it's going to be a domino effect. All your blessings going to start coming from verse 1 through 15. Just like when we broke it, everything else came a domino effect. And all that evil started coming upon us. Look at verse 23. Now look at verse 24. I'm gonna get straight to it. Y'all there? Say, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you unto your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. See, idol worship is the first thing. When he mentioned filthiness, he mentioned what filthiness? And he said, all your idols will I cleanse you with this clean water. So, if this is the first command, if this is the worst command that causes all dominoes effect, if this is the number one command, that causes all domino effects, good and evil, and the Most High said, I'm going to cleanse you from this evil of serving other gods, then that's exactly what he gonna do. And they not gonna serve no more other gods no more. So that's why he's gonna bring them home. That's why he said when they all died, he said, I make good and evil. I make good and death. I'm sorry, evil and death, life and good. That's what he said, right?
Make the you trying to make dead and make alive?
Nah, he said he makes life good and life, evil and death. You do evil, you die. You do good, you live. Right? Well, when we did all this evil, we went dying. When he come save us, the thing that we did first that was evil was cause all those devils, idolatry. He's going to save us from that, so that we will not turn, because that's turning your back on him. That's the first thing that we're going to be cleansed from. That's the first, and when he cleanses from it, that's the first thing we will do, turn back to him. But all these are steps, but we definitely ain't going to burn with these heathens. He said, I made you separate from the heathens. So to say he's going to kill us with the heathens is preposterous. The Most High said we have to die to become gods or little yahs. We are all little yahs, but we going to die like men. That's why when we die, we get woke up to everlasting life. We get cleansed and brought up out of our graves and took home, like the Most High said. Not the other nations. Our death is for a different purpose than the other nations. You don't put our death with theirs. They death.
No, I was just trying to understand. I wasn't saying
Yeah.
That's how we talk though. That's all. It's based on the teachers that we
Sacrifice. Israel is that sacrifice. We that lamb of the Most High, especially Judah. We bared all the sins of Israel because we caused Israel to go into captivity. They was being led by the house of David. You see? So that's why they got the worst of the worst. Them and Levi. But especially us, because we control Levi as well. Like I told you, we could tell Levi, we got Levi head nipped off his shoulder, but Levi got to deal with us. He can't have the king's head nipped off his shoulders. So only Yah could tell him to do that. If Yah said go get him, then it was through. But Yah had the priests as a can remember, had the priest tell him, but he'd have Elijah come put his bully hand down. Yeah, Elijah slaughtered him. The priest did, but Elijah would. Elijah wasn't no man born from Elijah something a force to be reckoned with. He the one the Most High gonna send on our behalf, along with all them hosts of heaven that's numbered at the start. I can't wait to see my heavenly family coming down here on their little chariots with their little locks. You know what I'm saying? I know I got a wife or two up there too. I'm waiting on. I can't wait to get him. He crazy. I look down at me like, oh, he crazy. You'll kick my thing.
At least two.
Well, that's it, y'all. Praise the mighty Yah.
Money,
May God be with you. You and you. Thanks again, my family, for kicking it with me and doing this little study. You feel me? And thank you for listening. If any listeners are listening, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Nah, but have a blessed one. Y'all bless. Hallelujah. We out of here.